Hey everybody, this is Matt Graham. I'm going to show you how to create a fire from scratch in the wild today. And I've got with me a few different plants to do that, which I've gathered all right here within maybe 50-yard radius, so not very far at all. And we're going to start out with the two components for the hand drill, which is yucca, and the hearth board, which is also yucca. Now, this was from last year's dead growth. And you can see the color difference. It's kind of a white color, and that's ideally what you want. I was having trouble finding a large one, so for the board I had to go with 2 years old growth, which is going to be a little bit soft, but we'll see what it does. I think it'll still work anyways. Now for the tinder nest, there's juniper trees all around here and sagebrush, so I grabbed just a couple pieces of both. This is sagebrush bark. You can see it's very light. It goes up very nicely. And juniper bark, which is also very nice. I would say they're very comparable between the two. It's harder to collect sagebrush in this area, but it does light a little bit faster. So let's start out with making the hand drill. So pretty simple. What you want to do is take the straightest section. Now, because let's say this is a survival situation where you want to optimize the length, everything out of this, I'm going to look for a section that's fairly straight through there. You can see it's got a bend, and there is ways to straighten that out, but for now I'm just going to make the fire on the spot with what I have. And when you cut these ends, you want to be very careful to not just snap it off, because if you get a point where you get a fray on there or a split, it can actually go down the whole spindle as you're bowing it. I want to clean up all these little nodes here. Now, a lot of times I'll go kind of at a right angle. What that does is that gets like the shiny bits of sheen off this, and it makes it a little bit more grippy on the hand since we're doing a hand drill today. Okay, that top section, you want to make sure there's no hard nodes on your hands right there. That sheen off once again there. Okay, and then that's a hand drill right there. You know, it's not straight. There is ways I could straighten it out even without fire. I could actually rub it on a log, creating enough heat to get a little bit of straightness, but I think it's gonna work. I'm just gonna go with what I have right now. And now for the board, I want to find I'll probably use this bottom section because it is a little bit bigger. You don't want to get too close to the bottom though, because it is pithy down there. So kind of a balance, so I'll probably be right up in that area. Yeah, I'm feeling it. It definitely is pretty soft down there. I'll try to go up just a little bit in there. I think maybe this section right there is going to work great. Okay, since I'm on the sand, I'll take some of the softer sand down just a little bit. And I guess I'll back up a little bit so you can see the ground here. Okay, so now that the fire kit is ready, I want to prepare the tinder nest. So I'm going to start with the strip of juniper here, and I'm going to wrap it around in a way that creates a little bit of a bird nest. So coming around here, full circle, and then I'm gonna tuck it in there to create a little bit of a pocket. Any excess I have, I'll create another little dip there. You can see now it's formed a nice little pocket. That's not a nest on its own, but I'm gonna fill it with this fluffier sagebrush bark. Beautiful day today. Can't believe it's mid-March and got t-shirt weather out here. Almost at 7,000 feet too. Alright, so take that, kind of do the same thing. You can see there's a bunch of fluff down here on the ground too. I want to use that as well. So I'm going to push it into that little pocket that I created. That's going to hold everything together. And it's important to get a nest fairly tight. I think that's a mistake that beginners sometimes make, is they get it a little bit too loose and then the coal kind of falls through the edges. Now, if it's too tight, you're blowing on it for a long time, but that's better than losing the coal. Alright, so now we'll get the pre-starter hole. So what I want to do is just burn a little bit into this. Spit on the hands, it gives a little bit more bite, a little bit more friction onto the board. You can see it's starting to smoke already. Because the spindle's not real round, it'll make your hands sore. Just know that when you're doing this on the fly like this. Alright, so now that I've got a hole burned in there for starters, I'm going to make a little notch. Ah, fire, fire. Love fire. Okay, so now I've got a little notch in there. Basically it's like cutting out a little piece of pie all the way almost to center there. I'll come up there so you can see that. You need something to catch the coal on, so what I'm going to use is a little piece of bark here. Alright, so take this piece of bark, and this just acts like a little plate to transfer the coal to the nest. Alright. Hopefully this is going to work. I'm honestly a little bit nervous about this hearth board, just because it is a little bit soft. So make sure everything's just right. There's a little node there. I'm going to take that off, make sure it's very round on the end. That's very important. Alright, a little prayer to the fire gods and a little drool on the beard. And we'll see what we got. Now what's happening, I can kind of see the angle of the hearth board rotating a little bit. You see that stop reposition, because if you just grind in the wrong angle, wrong spot, then you're going to just spin your wheels. Make sure everything's right when you start. It's very important. The other thing I'm seeing too is there's not support under here, so what's going to happen is if I push down on this, drill through this very thin board, it's going to break. So what I'm doing is I'm analyzing problems that can go wrong even before I start. That's very important. Don't assume it's just going to work. Like, make sure it's good. All right, I'll give it another go here. Now, technique I'm using at the top is called floating. Allows you to get pressure without actually going down the spindle all the time. Okay, perfect. Actually, it wasn't too bad. So basically, sorry I didn't talk through that because I was uncertain about this set, but what you're doing is watching. You're watching for that coal to actually start to smolder, then you know you have it. All right, so once you get that smoldering coal, you want to take it and transfer it into the nest. So I'll try to come a little closer here. So there's the coal right there. Gonna drop it in. Now once that coal is inside the nest, just relax a little bit, catch your breath, because you're going to be winded. You should be winded. Even if it wasn't a big effort, you're putting in a lot of energy all at once, even if it only takes 30 seconds, which probably was something like that. You're still gonna, you can see I'm still catching my breath because you're putting a lot of energy, muscle into that, whether it's a bow drill, hand drill, anything. So now that coal is in there, it's starting to actually spread a little bit through the fibers. So at this point, what you want to do is just give it a nice gentle blow. If there's a breeze, which I can feel some breeze coming at my back, let that kind of play into there. Let it come along your side into the nest. You can sometimes even hold it up on a super windy day. And you can see it's already, just by doing that, I was getting a little bit of breath in there. Now the breath is very important. Remember, this is that newborn baby that you're bringing to life. Don't just sit there and blow a big tornado on it. Give it a gentle breeze. And as you see it start to smolder more and more, at that point you can pick up the breath, get it a little bit more because it's actually rooted, that coal spread out in there. That's it. There you got a fire. From here, you got those magical flames. You can stay warm, cook, eat your food, throw on some sticks there, build it up. I hope you enjoyed this little tip on building a fire from scratch out here right near Coral Pink Sand Dunes. It's pretty awesome.